Affordability, affordability, affordability. That is all you are hearing about in the news lately. And if you're living in El Paso, Texas, there are some issues happening with our utility companies, water, gas, electric, that are possibly going to affect the affordability of living here in El Paso, Texas. So let's jump into exactly what each utility is proposing, how much of an increase, and what that kind of looks like. Let's start with El Paso Water.
So Paso Water is thinking about doing a 12% increase on the bill. Now, if we do an average bill in El Paso, that's gonna be around $10 extra a month. Now, they're saying because it's rising cost of water, wastewater, stormwater services with investments in infrastructure. That's the excuse. Now, they're gonna have public hearings on January 14th of 2026, and if approved, it's gonna go into effect on March 1st.
Yeah, so water super important. We recently did a video on kind of upcoming developments, and we talked about this Meta AI data center that's coming that was going to use a ton of water, up to or more than 400,000 gallons a day. There's another data center that's supposed to come in Santa Teresa called Project Jupiter, which is also going to, of course, consume a lot of water. So this idea that El Paso Water is trying to increase their prices, I hope to God that it is not for these data centers, because if we're paying for water infrastructure for data centers, not cool, all right? But that's yet to be decided. Now, to their credit, I know they are doing different projects. Like there's the Bustamante wastewater treatment plant, I think is on the west side. I think it's getting a big overhaul. I know they're doing work on the desalination plant to expand that. So those things, I mean, are needed. You know what? Yeah, wastewater, stormwater, we want all that stuff to work. But like I said, if it's going to appease these big corporations, not cool. All right, so 12% increase there, about $10 a month for most people. All right, El Paso Electric, what do we got?
For Paso Electric, average bill, let's say is $96, is gonna go up to about $118. Now it stands to recover the cost and fund future infrastructure, pretty much the same thing. Now, an administrative law judges recommend a smaller increase, which means a lower profit margin allowed, right? Now, the final decision is gonna be made on February of 2026. They say it's gonna be able to pay off a $1.55 billion in various investments made between 2021 and 2024.
Yeah, now this one is interesting. Okay, now they're talking about this one for the average person in El Paso, about $20 a month more. And so yeah, they're saying that basically what they want is they need this extra money to pay off past investments in the last 3 years. You always get to vote for judges, but at least for me, I'm like, I don't know who they are. Like, what do they matter? Well, I think they do kind of matter because, like I said, there's a law judge here who's actually put the brakes on it, which is pretty cool, all right? Read that thing on the back, because this gets back to the data center things, which I think is kind of crazy.
So it says El Paso Electric plans to spend $4.4 billion in capital project over the next 5 years. Most of that spending is driven largely by the construction boom and power-hungry data centers and increased electricity demand for air conditioning homes and business caused by higher average temperatures.
Yeah, now this sounds a little sketchy. What, 5.5 billion? 4.4 billion.
Yeah.
Okay, $4.4 billion in the next 5 years for what? Okay, yeah, air conditioning costs, yeah, temperatures maybe are getting a little higher, all right, fair enough. But like they said, for the power-hungry data centers, that's insane. Like, again, if we're paying for Meta's AI data center, we said last time in that video that it consumes, like, the amount of energy it consumes is like insane. Not cool, all right? So we got average consumer, $10 for water, $20 for electric, and then our third utility, Texas Gas Service.
So they're proposing an increase of 27%. Now it's about $10 to $15 on average. Now the city council and local leaders are pushing back, which is good, because it feels like somebody's got to do something about it, all these increases. Now the final approval authority is Railroad Commission of Texas, and it's going to be early 2026.
Now, in our last video where we talked about those corporate developments, a lot of people in the comments were like, I don't know, like the city council, like they're corrupt, they're getting bribed, they're not doing anything, all right? Now it does sound like the city council unanimously voted that one down, okay? So Can't speak to the other accusations about anything, but it does sound like they did step up to this one. 27% increase.
Crazy.
That's pretty substantial. Actually, I wrote this stuff down. Let's see. So if all of these proposed changes took place, basically, people would see your cost by month, your monthly cost would increase about $40 to $45 a month, which translates to about $480 to $500 more per year, okay? So, like I said, when we did our developments one, it did seem to kind of get people riled up. So we want to keep talking about some of the issues that are going to affect El Pasoans. And yeah, of course, we're real estate agents and we do try to find a lot of PCS and relocating traffic. And one of the things we say that's awesome, like a pro about El Paso, is that it's affordable, but once utility costs start going up, starts to eat into that affordability a little bit.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for checking out